So the young Hughie Fury, 25 fights, 2 losses, versus the old Alexander Povetkin, 36 fights, 2 losses. But Povetkin was born in 1979, Hughie Fury in 1994. So there is actually 15 years difference between the two, but the losses are the same, 2 losses. So what is going to happen? But first of all, I'm Ross. This is Boxing Pills. I'll bring you the best boxing news multiple times per week. So if you haven't already done it, please be sure to subscribe. But without further doing, let's get back into the video. This fight is quite funny because the question that hangs on in the air is actually what is going to happen to Hughie Fury more than what is going to happen to Alexander Povetkin, because Hughie Fury probably is a heavyweight. It's a very good heavyweight that got rushed to world level maybe too soon, and this is going to have very disastrous consequences for his career. Okay, for people that don't know, Hughie Fury is the cousin of Tyson Fury, and Peter Fury is actually his trainer. Peter Fury is the guy who brought Tyson Fury to fame, and is the guy who allowed Tyson Fury to become heavyweight champion of the world by defeating Klitschko, the man that hadn't been defeated in 10 years. So we can hardly question how good Peter Fury is, that actually is his father, but we actually can question how good Hughie Fury is, because despite being 24, 25, how many you are, 25, if it's born in 1994, he had 2 losses. And if you see actually the big heavyweight like Tyson Fury, he has no losses. He got champion at 27 and he was unbeaten. He's still unbeaten nowadays. One draw with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder also no losses. Anthony Joshua got his first loss now, but was already heavyweight world champion. He became world champion with only 16 fights, undefeated. So that already puts these 2 losses really put Hughie Fury in a dark spot. And there are basically 2 ways to think about it. Either the guy is just not good enough, technically, skillfully, or whatever you want to call it, or he has the potential, just that he was rushed too soon. To be honest, I don't think he was rushed too soon. No. And actually what's going to happen now is that if you think about Povetkin, Povetkin is a guy that is very powerful. He punches very hard, and he showed it. He knows how to dodge punches very well, and he has a good technique. He has a lot of experience, and experience actually comes from being 39 and having done 36 fights. Okay, and he got in his career only 2 title shots. One was with Vladimir Klitschko in 2013, I believe, and actually Klitschko, that time Klitschko dominated the fight. And he won unanimously by unanimous decision. One thing to say is that actually Klitschko couldn't knock him down. And the other one was actually a defeat against Anthony Joshua. Povetkin really put Joshua in serious trouble, exposing some of the Joshua flaws, because in the second round, he actually hit Joshua with a hard punch and his nose started to bleed. And up until the 5th round, they were close. And then, Joshua just kind of got a second win in the 7th round. Povetkin was getting tired and fatigued. So Joshua just did a TKO in the 7th round. So these were actually the only 2 losses on Povetkin. So we can hardly question Povetkin and how good it is. I like his style, to be honest. He's very aggressive, punches very hard. It's a respectable fighter. But for Hughie Fury, we have other kind of statistics, okay, guys? Because you cannot see the fights with people that are not at world level because they don't push you, right? You cannot fight with the guy that are 5, 10 times, 15 times below you, because you're never gonna see the true potential of a man, right? But there were only 2 times that actually Hughie Fury got tested, and both of them he lost. And this should actually make us think about it a little bit more, right? Because Hughie Fury versus Joseph Parker. It was on YouTube 1 year ago, I think, yeah, 1 or 2 years ago. And I saw the fight. And it was so boring, just, oh my god, I felt like I wasted my money. Yeah, it's just, there was all the rounds, we went on for 12 rounds, and all the rounds were actually Joseph Parker keeping the center of the ring, trying actually to attack Hughie Fury, and Hughie Fury keeping his distance with the jab. That was only the fight that was about. Parker was the aggressive one, Fury was actually defending. And I mean, he defended pretty well, but whenever he actually tried to, land some shots on Parker, he pretty much missed everything, right? And honestly, the first comparison that comes to my mind about Hughie Fury is with his cousin, Tyson Fury. And you can see that they have different eyes, they just have different charisma, despite being trained by the same trainer, because don't forget that actually Peter Fury is actually the same trainer of Tyson Fury. So same trainer, different behaviors. Look like Hughie Fury is more insecure. He was afraid to be there. I don't know. Still has to find himself a little bit. And this insecurity makes people wanna come forward. Okay, guy. Whenever you see somebody as a boxer that is insecure, you just come forward and you start to attack him more and more. I mean, it boosts actually the ego of the opponent to a certain extent. And this really didn't happen with Tyson Fury, so he had already a psychological advantage. Tyson Fury was the guy that was sure of himself, 200%, he was going to win. He did such an orthodox style with Klitschko that, come on, you cannot face the heavyweight champion of the world and going actually hands behind your back. There were some rounds like that, so Hughie Fury is not going to dare to do that, and that already tells you something about the personality that gets reflected in their style. Okay, and with Joseph Parker he lost. With Pulev, we just saw a match where actually Pulev was actually controlling most of the fight. It was actually, I think, unanimous decision also in that match. No, but one of the judges scored even, the other one actually gave the match to Pulev. And you see actually Pulev controlling the entire match. Fury is always on the defense side. He's tried always to land a few shots in the first 3 or 4 rounds and really didn't manage, couldn't really connect well with Pulev. And, in the third round was probably the only round where Hughie Fury was kind of more aggressive. The only round where we actually saw a trace of anger in Hughie Fury that I hope that can be exploited in the future. But then after the third or fourth round, he just stopped really doing combination or attacking, and you could really see that he was going for the one-punch knockout. And of course, he didn't succeed in that. And then this guy, despite being so young, he gets tired so easily. And at the last rounds, pretty much, just he was completely fatigued, and Pulev, was the best man. I mean, he was just having control of the fight all along. So the question is, can a guy like this, with these 2 losses at world level, fight against the number 5 ranked boxer, Povetkin? Now, despite to say that he has a 2 fight against people that are not really well known, probably to adjust. He got defeated, he learned what he had to get better, and he adjusted. You take 1 or 2 fights before actually stepping into world level again. And people say that actually Povetkin doesn't care that much. He's actually 39. He's about to be retired in a few months or maybe next year. And he's getting slow and doesn't have the same resistance, which is okay. I mean, I totally agree. I mean, the Povetkin now was not the Povetkin against Klitschko, and I don't know if it's the same Povetkin also against Joshua. That the second argument that people make is that Povetkin can be a bit rusty because his last fight was in September 2018 with Joshua. That's all true. But let's forget, he's not 50, can be a little bit slower, but the power is the same, right? I mean, it's a bit shorter, so probably Hughie Fury is going to try to keep him at bay with the jab, because one must for Hughie Fury is to avoid Povetkin punches, because Povetkin punches far harder than the majority of heavyweight. But I mean, to my opinion, my prediction is that probably on points, or if he gets exposed to Will by knockout, because Hughie Fury doesn't have a really good power punches as a decent chin, not good power punches, and it doesn't have that coordination needed as a heavyweight. I don't see a lot of coordination in Hughie Fury. I see much more coordination in Povetkin. So yeah, Povetkin is gonna have probably slightly more handicaps than Hughie Fury that are gonna be actually kind of compensated by his increased experience. So my point is that I think Povetkin, either by TKO or KO or at least on point, is actually going to win against Hughie Fury. I don't think Hughie Fury has the stamina or has actually the DNA to be a world champion. And of course, you know, these two losses really decreased his self-esteem, and I don't know if he had time to build it back up, probably because he was rushed too soon, you know, 23, 24, already having world title fight. Is not actually comparable to his cousin Tyson Fury. So I see actually this match going to Povetkin, but as we know, only future will tell. 31 of August in London. So guys, please subscribe if you haven't already done it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.